Hello everyone. Welcome to Fast Track on Herald Global. I am Saimik Sen and joining us today are renowned Bollywood actor Tahir Raj Bhasin. Welcome to Herald Global and thank you so much for taking out this time for us. I would like to begin by asking you how did you deal with the pandemic, personally and professionally?
Um, Personally, Shamik, it was a period of a lot of self-introspection. I think we were all forced to stay indoors for such a long time, something that as actors we're not used to because we're constantly surrounded by activity, buzz, and people. And personally, it just makes you appreciate where you are in life a whole lot more. It makes you value the smaller things, just as something as simple as house chores or connecting with friends and family. Professionally, it meant a whole new way of thinking about work, purely in terms of how much dates got shuffled, how the release of certain projects has been moved, and the entire system of functioning is now on a month per month basis rather than looking at it as a what's going to be on the slate for this year. But also it's acted as a big catalyst for a lot of change that would have perhaps otherwise taken about 7 or 8 years, and it's sped up that process. And people, including actors and creative professionals, have had to adapt to those changes very quickly.
How did you come across the project Loop Lapeta?
Loop Lapeta is a very exciting project that we shot for in 2020, and it's going to release later this year around October and November. It's the remake of a German cult classic called Run Lola Run, and I am doing my first romantic lead. And I couldn't be more excited about playing a quote-unquote romantic lead hero than to be opposite Taapsee Pannu, who's a fabulous actress. And the film was it was unlike any character I've played before. It's light, it's goofy. It's also a very adrenaline-heavy film because it's based on a chase, a heist film. And the film came to me soon after Chichore release. The producers, Atul Kasbekar and Tanuj, who are from Ellipsis Entertainment, approached me with the script. I heard it, and personally, I love something that's out of the box. It has a whole new aesthetic, something that hasn't been seen in our film in the film world for at least the past decade, in terms of how we've used different kinds of lights, different cameras, different camera techniques, and it's just overall incredibly exciting.
Oh, very interesting. So, what are the kind of challenges you face while shooting for Ye Kali Kali Aankhein, especially during this lockdown?
Ye Kali Kali Aankhein, I think we can make a separate show about the shooting of that show, because that's how many challenges we faced. We shot in Bhopal. This is, by the way, it's a drama series for Netflix, which is also the first time I'm going to be playing in a romantic. It's a slightly dark drama, and it's very pulpy. It's very Bollywood, as the title suggests. It's inspired from the hit Bazigar song Ye Kali Kali Aankhein. Not inspired from. The producers have the rights and they are using bits of the song in the series. But it was just a challenge because it was not the kind of shoot where you just shoot in one location. We were shooting in Bhopal, we were in Omkareshwar, we were in Bombay, in Pune, in Manali, in Ladakh. And so moving with an entire crew, everyone getting RT-PCR tested every time you had to fly, maintaining a bio bubble, making sure that we got out before a lockdown was in place. All this while shooting action scenes, shooting romantic scenes, I learned a lot. Shooting a series is like shooting 3 films in the time span of 1 film.
So you have so many upcoming projects. So, I mean, when can we see some movies releasing in the theater? Like, can we look at something, say, end of this year?
My fingers are crossed and my guess is as good as yours. I am an artist and an entertainer. I definitely want it to reach the audience as soon as possible. But at the same time, the concern is also safety. I wouldn't want things to start releasing at a time when I can't tell my friends and family or my fans to say, please go to the theater and watch it. So fingers crossed. At the moment, we're looking at Loop Lapeta. Hopefully will be out around October or November. Where it's releasing is still a mystery to me, but I'm hoping I have the answer very soon.
So talking about that, so do you think this big screen to small screen, this is the new normal now?
It is definitely a new normal, and it's been that transition has been taking place gradually internationally for quite a few years, for the past 2 or 3 years. But like I said in the beginning of the interview, what the pandemic and people's viewing habits have done has sort of acted as a catalyst in that shift. What would have taken 10 years has now happened over 2 years. And I think it's great to see film stars now venturing into the digital space. There are some stories that are definitely more exciting and better told when they're told in episodic formats and when they're watched at home. And then there are some which are best told on the big screen in a theater with popcorn, with your friends, and enjoying it with that kind of experience. So I think in the long term, both of them will coexist, but this has definitely been a time for digital content to hold the audience's hand through the lockdown.
So what do you see in a script before you decide to do that role?
What do I see in a script? That it's got to be an interesting lead part, and how is the part moving the story forward? How is he impacting the story? So, for example, in Mardani, which was my debut film with YRF, he plays the anti-hero, and a girl goes missing in that film, and that's after about the character is only introduced after about 20 minutes into the film. But there is a huge amount of mystery and a curiosity that's created about the character and how he's going to influence the protagonist's life. And so the audience is engrossed about knowing more about that part. And those are the kind of small things. Similarly, in Chichore, the part of Derek had an impact on the way the group of boys, college boys, went on with their lives and how they were vying for that trophy and that tournament. So what is the impact that the character is making on the story? And of course, who's directing and writing the story as well?
Talking about Mardani, so one of the biggest break that you got. Prior to that, what was your experience in terms of the struggling time that you had to go through?
Samik, I really don't look at it as a struggling phase. It was an aspiring phase because the minute you start using the word struggle, people think it's a very negative term. So I always had aspirations, and I think the 3 or 4 years before Mardani that I spent looking for work taught me a lot, because I was constantly taking feedback, doing workshops, and little by little improving what the capabilities were at that point. And I feel like all of that built up, all that preparation built up when it met with an opportunity. That's what caused Mardani to stand up and pop out both in the audience's mind as well as film critics.
How will you define your journey so far?
A roller coaster, like a mad roller coaster. It's been adventurous because it's had so many diverse parts, and it's taking a fresh new turn with a romantic hero as of 2021. I'm really anxious to see how the audience reacts to that.
So were you apprehensive in terms of you taking up the first role as a negative role?
I was apprehensive when I heard that it is an antagonist, but when I met with the director and the producer and the writer, I realized that they plan to treat him like an anti-hero. An anti-hero is someone who looks like a charming boy next door. He could actually be, very charming with a girl on a date, but it's what's going on in his mind and what he's planning which is dangerous. So you feel for what he's doing, but not for how he is visually presented to the audience. And that's what made the character confusing, and people came out hating the character, but loving the actor. And it's this strange mix of emotions. And I think as an actor, that's the best compliment that you can get.
So with your father being in the IF, was your family supportive with the choice of joining movie industry?
They were concerned only because every parent wants to know how you're going to go about things, and there's no clear path of step 1, step 2. There is no clear map to say that this is how I'm going to go about it. But once Mardani happened, they were very supportive before that, but they were very proud after that. And that change I saw in them, and that for me only added more motivation to do better projects, so that I can make them feel more and more proud.
Okay. My last question to you, what would you like to tell the aspiring actors, especially in a difficult time like this?
For aspiring actors, a lot has changed also in terms of how auditions and meetings now happen. We're doing this interview over Zoom. Perhaps pre-pandemic, we would have met face-to-face. It's the same thing with auditions. So what I would say is you need to brush up on how to audition over Zoom or video, how to make an impact in a very short video audition. And no time is a bad time to be learning. If you're sitting at home, there are books you can read. There are short videos that you can watch on the internet. Always be brushing up your skills. That would be my one advice, because when that opportunity comes, you don't want to feel like, maybe if I was better prepared, I would have done better with that opportunity. So you need to upgrade your skill for today's world, for video calls and Zoom, and never stop learning.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. And
thank you so much.
I wish you all the best for your upcoming projects.
Thank you very much.